Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the world of cybersecurity. It's this non-stop battle to keep our digital lives safe, and we're going to break down exactly how we protect everything from our personal data to massive networks, from all those digital threats out there. So, here's what we've got lined up. We're going to start by exploring the digital battlefield to really understand the threats we're all up against. Then, we'll get into how to build your own digital fortress for protection. We'll also meet the key players, the hackers, both the good guys and the bad guys, and check out the tools they use. And finally, we'll look at how you could actually build a career on the front lines of this digital world. Okay, let's jump right in. To get a handle on cybersecurity, you have to start with the threats. And believe me, this isn't just stuff you see in spy movies about massive corporate heists. The digital battlefield is happening all around us, targeting regular people every single day. So if your answer is yes, you've already been targeted. It's one of the most common tricks in the book. And what's interesting is, they're not trying to smash through some digital wall with brute force. Nope. They're using psychology to try and trick you into just opening the front door for them. And this, right here, is what we call social engineering. It's kind of genius in a devious way, right? They're not hacking your computer, they're hacking you. They prey on the trust you have in a brand you know or a person you think you can trust, all to get you to click that one bad link. But phishing is really just the tip of the iceberg. Attackers also use something called malware. That's just short for malicious software to infect your system. Or, when you're on that coffee shop Wi-Fi, they can literally sit in the middle of your connection and just listen in. That's a man-in-the-middle attack. Sometimes it's as simple as them just guessing your password. And then there's the really nasty stuff, like ransomware, that locks up your files and demands money to get them back. Okay, so take all that personal stuff we just talked about and now imagine it scaled up. Way, way up. When these tactics are used against huge companies or hospitals or even governments, the fallout can be absolutely catastrophic. We're talking about disruptions that can shake entire economies. And if you want a perfect, terrifying example of how bad it can get, we have to talk about WannaCry. This wasn't just some small IT problem. It literally brought global giants in manufacturing and shipping to a grinding halt. What made WannaCry so insane was just how fast it moved. I mean, look at that number, 230,000 computers. In a single day, it was like a digital wildfire, spreading on its own from machine to machine because it exploited a weakness in older software that a lot of places just hadn't updated yet. It was terrifyingly efficient. And this thing had a passport. It wasn't just in one country or one industry. It went global, hitting 150 countries almost all at once, crippling critical systems from hospitals to government agencies. It was a true international crisis. Okay, so that's the scary part. We see the threats. The big question is, what do we do about it? How do we even start to fight back and build our own digital fortress? Well, your very first line of defense, the most basic and crucial tool, is a firewall. And honestly, the best way to picture it is as a security guard for your network. It stands right at the entrance and checks the ID of every single piece of data trying to get in or out. So here's the play-by-play. Everything you do online, sending an email, watching a video, is broken down into tiny little pieces of data called packets. The firewall is like a bouncer at a club, checking every single packet's ID against a list of rules. Does it come from a trusted place? Is it trying to go somewhere it's allowed? If anything looks shady, it's blocked. If it checks out, it gets through. Simple, but super effective. Okay, so beyond just blocking bad stuff, what about privacy? Well, you've probably heard of VPNs, right? Think of a VPN as your own private, secret tunnel on the internet. It encrypts everything you do, hiding it from anyone who might be snooping. Now, Tor is a whole different level. Instead of one secret tunnel, it's more like a crazy random maze. It bounces your connection all over the world through different servers, making you almost impossible to trace. All right, let's talk about the people behind the code. When you hear the word hacker, what pops into your head? Probably some person in a dark hoodie, right? Well, the reality is a lot more interesting and a lot more complex than that. Really, you can sort them into three main camps, and it all comes down to their motivation. You've got your black hats. These are the bad guys, the criminals breaking in for money or to cause chaos. Then you have the white hats. They're the good guys, the digital cavalry, often called ethical hackers, hired to find weaknesses before the villains can. And then you've got the gray hats, who live somewhere in the middle, operating in a moral gray area. So, how do the good guys, the white hats, actually win? Well, they can't bring a knife to a gunfight. They need their own powerful toolkit. They have to think like a black hat and use some of the same kinds of tools to beat a black hat. So they use tools like Nmap to basically draw a map of the entire network to see what's connected. Or they'll use Wireshark, which is like being able to see all the data traffic flying through the air to spot anything suspicious. Tools like Burp Suite help them attack their own websites to find holes, and Metasploit lets them safely simulate real attacks to test their defenses. It's pretty cool stuff. So you have this constant war, right? Attackers and defenders back and forth. All of this has created a huge, and I mean huge, demand for people who can step up and join the defense. The need for cybersecurity pros is just exploding. And look, you don't have to take my word for it. The numbers are just wild. Job growth for security analysts is projected to be 33%. To put that into perspective, the average for all other jobs is just 8%. This field isn't just growing, it's absolutely booming. And yeah, with that kind of demand comes some pretty great rewards. We're talking about careers that are not only super stable, but also pay really well. And it makes sense, right? From the analysts on the front lines to the ethical hackers and the top bosses, like a chief information security officer, these people are protecting the most valuable assets a company has. Look, at the end of the day, pretty much everything we do is digital now. Our money, our conversations, our infrastructure, it's all online. That means this digital battlefield, it's here to stay. And the need for defenders is only going to get bigger. So the real question is, are you ready to be one of them?